The Manic Street Preachers are here. All of them. This doesn't normally happen. And you're having a year off.
Oh, we haven't really had a year off. We've had a year off in Britain.
Having a year off, and the irony is, this is when all three of you turn up. Surely it's great to have you with us.
No, it's cool. It's kind of...
It's all right. Gets me out of the house. That's the main thing.
You're looking good, Sean.
Not too bad. Training well.
You got the old glove. You look like one of the warriors. You got the gloves on there.
I'm ready to fight.
He's all creatined up and everything.
Ready to fight.
So listen, 20 years since Generation Terrorist. I feel like there's a great scene in Grosse Pointe Blank when they keep bumping into John Cusack and they keep going, 10 years! Do you remember that? You know that film?
Yeah.
10 years! That's how I feel like saying to you, 20 years!
Is that
what?
a bit the battle scene in the kitchen?
Yeah.
I'm the only one that cooks in the kitchen in the studio, so... But, it seems so weird that that album is a relic now. It's kind of, and all the work...
Antiquity, I'd like to think of it
Okay,
as.
antiquity.
I mean, it was a relic back then, so...
But all the kind of demos that we had to unearth for it felt like a kind of an archaeological process kind of thing.
How did it come about? Did you think you were going to do it, or did the record label say, let's just, because
Just usual thing, me being bored, looking for something to do.
Up in the attic, rooting around the old Dysons.
Rummaging about. And it did feel 20 years... It just hit us, I guess, and we realised how much stuff we had, how much amazing demos and video footage and all stuff I'd kept, receipts from ferries and motorway service stations and snapshots, and so there's a book with it as well as all the demos and everything. So yeah,
I was looking at it today and listening to it today, and that's the great thing. It is there's loads of stuff there, and it's a half-hour documentary as well, right?
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah, and there's all there's a load of home footage that some stuff I did in America, which is amazing, right at the start on our disastrous American tour where no one turned up at all, and the ones that did hated us. There's a brilliant gig there from Chicago, which is just amazing.
Are you talking that up, or did that actually happen?
That actually happened.
Yeah, it did. I mean, when we played New York, that was a disaster. I mean, I was really excited because Slash was in the crowd, and I could see his top hat. And then there was a band on for us called Blind Melon, who weren't yet famous then, and they put their stage time back and back and back, and so we went and ran about 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I remember stepping on stage, and I remember seeing Slash's his big kind of hat just walking to the back of the hall and leaving. I was destroyed.
And I had a spray painted shirt with "We hate you" stenciled on.
Poor Sean is at the back going, oh man,
he was.
Not again.
It's been like that for 20 years.
And there was the record company had promotional bits and bobs for us around the venue. And I remember thinking, we're never going to make it in America, because the one best bit of promotional items that Sony had made for us in America was the trays that you leave in the urinals.
Brand
so
new
when
I
went to take a Waz, obviously it was on our band name.
It was the classic example of being able to Waz on yourself.
Like, what are the memories from Generation Terror? I mean, other than America, was it a happy time, angry time, obviously a sporty time? Because it only got to 13 in the charts, but that was good then, I guess, wasn't it?
It'd been like top 5 all week, and then the Brits, it was released the week of the Brits, and I remember being the chart addict that I am. So it was 5 or 6 all week, which was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
And then got a call on Sunday that, everything else had gone up. But we did have we had 6 top 40 singles in about 6 months. And Suicide is Painless as well.
Yeah.
I remember it as a great time. I thought it was against the world.
It's all wrapped up with us going to Top of the Pops for the first time and things like that.
Cover of the Enemy, getting played on Radio 1, doing a road show and written Ilfracombe.
And at the time, did you appreciate that? I mean, did you enjoy it, or because you're so I've grown up listening to you, and the lovely thing for me is when you meet you, we can always talk about stuff, whether it's sport or whether it's politics or whether it's history, and I really enjoy your company. But I don't know if I'd met you then, you'd go, who's this little oik, get rid of it, you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. I think I felt incredible pressure because our mission statement had said we'd sell how many records? I can't even remember.
16 million.
16 million, and then our chart position came in, and it was just like, well, we're never going to do this. So I just felt incredible pressure and a bit of disappointment mixed with the excitement of going to Top of the Pops the first time and seeing cast of EastEnders while I was having my ham, egg and chips in the canteen. So it was a bittersweet time. It was exciting, but it was also just felt like it was so much pressure because of our own mission statement.
BBC Canteen was brilliant. It was just a real major thrill. Again, the cover of the Enemy and Top of the Pops, we thought equated to world domination.
Yeah.
When we got
and in a weird way, it sort of did. at the time?
It certainly helped. Yeah. It certainly helped. Yeah, there wasn't, it was a much simpler time.
But that's it. I mean, there wasn't digital age then. So front cover of the Enemy and you're on top of the Pops. There aren't that many other boxes to tick as a new band then.
No, there wasn't. And we went to Japan and, it was proper mania out there. The album sold loads and we played these amazing shows in Tokyo, like 3,000 people sold out for an entire week, which we just couldn't believe. That was just
And not many bands
magical.
went over to Japan early doors, I guess.
No. James and Sean absolutely loved it over there.
You like it?
I nearly went mental the first time.
Why?
I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't understand anyone. They thought I was a giant.
I was tacitly trying to say that me and Sean really fitted in.
Yeah.
No, you did. You loved it. You bought into it. And Richey, and we did the Martin, our manager, who's outside. He directed the video for Motorcycle Emptiness out there.
Did, yeah.
And it became a bit of an iconic video for us.
And we were talking about it earlier on. 18 tracks for a debut album. Was a double album, right?
Yeah.
That's ballsy.
It was.
Few fillers.
There were a few fillers in there. But kind of, it felt like some kind of weird David Essex rock and roll film. It felt like we were in Stardust for a while or something like that, or That'll Be the Day, or Rock Follies. So yeah, we were just quite kind of daft, really.
Okay, what are you going to do for us first?
Well, I'm going to do Damn Dog, which is a cover version of a song from a film we loved back then called Times Square by the Sleaze Sisters. And wasn't there a girl in there who wore makeup like me who was called Nicky, I think? There was a lot of serendipity going on. I think Roses in the Hospital is mentioned in the film as well.
Did anyone in your village know what was going on apart from you four? I mean, did anyone else get you? Or...
There was a band called Funeral in Berlin.
Oh yeah,
they were bigger than us in Blackwood, and we supported them. They were kind of they were up and stuff. And there was another band called A Quiet Taste that kind of like we were in competition.
Oh, there was mods.
With. Yeah, there was a mod band. So there was a scattering of. But when you were indie back in those days, you were you stuck out basically.
No, they all hated us.
Yeah.
But when you played the early gigs, were your families there?
Oh no. God. We used to shudder when, much as we absolutely adore the Jam and the Mondays, when they said their dad would be the tour manager and stuff. It's like, I love my dad to bits, he's brilliant, but the thought of him being on the road with me,
no,
it's scary.
It would have been bad.
Okay, Manic Street Preachers, over to you.
Okay, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can lick your face, my teeth got rabies, I'm gonna give it to you. Feed me, can't you hear me howl? Feed me, 'cause I'm a damn dog. I got a taste for flesh, for danger, so I foam and chew, but the hands of a stranger. Feed me, can't you hear me howl? Feed me, 'cause I'm a damn dog.
That's great. What was it?
Damn Dog.
What's it from?
A film called Times Square. There's brilliant. It's about, I don't know how you can describe it really, but they had Same Old Scene by Roxy Music in it. I think it became a hit off the soundtrack.
Right.
And we loved that song. And we used to watch, well, me and Richey especially. It's a very kind of New York Dolls feel to the film. And which was a big part of us at the time, obviously, especially me and Richey. We just loved that film. We used to watch it over and over.
When all four of you were growing up, were you a sort of, let's ring James up, see what he's doing. Oh, you listen to music as well? Yeah, I'll come around. And then, was it always...
I didn't even... My dad refused to have a phone until I was like 15.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a phone in the house.
I remember, it's interesting because I remember us all calling each other around about that time when the Punk anniversary programme's on, So It Goes. We all called each other up after watching The Clash on TV. And then when we saw Birdland on Snub, we all called each other up. It's just like, we're all engaged and trying to call each other up and say, ever seen that band on Snub, Birdland? Yeah. They Stole No Thunder. And we hadn't even got remotely close to having a deal at that point, kind of thing. So it was kind of, it was like Wichita Lineman. You could feel the messages going through the telephone wires at night between us.
We were deeply connected. I mean, me and Richey were in university together at the time anyway, so we were writing lyrics together.
Where were you at college?
In Swansea. We were both in Swansea. And, we'd obviously been in the same school with James since I was 4. Yeah. And they were cousins. We were all in the same school. So by the time we got to 15, there was a telepathy.
But by the time you were in Swansea, were you able to soak up culture because I know that, from what reading earlier on today, where you got the most of the stuff was your brother, I think, was almost...
He was a big help for me because he'd done American studies, so he brought back...
He was like your Waterstones or Borders, wasn't he?
He was, because he was Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac. Sean, because Sean had been playing the trumpet, he was, he'd come up with Charlie Parker and all.
But at the time, you can't YouTube it.
So it felt really easy. I mean,
do you know what I mean? You've got to get it just the way you can.
It was easy. We all bought the Enemy, Sounds, Melody Maker, Jamming, Record Collector, Record Mirror, all these fanzines and stuff, and then you would just pick up books through people like Matt Johnson mentioning the John Paul Sartre book or something. So you'd go out and buy it just because a musician mentioned it. So it never felt like it felt like we were distant from the world, but we weren't disconnected from it.
We were obsessed with Betty Blue and Rumblefish. Those two films were really were obsessed because Motorcycle Boy was kind of inspired Motorcycle Emptiness.
Right. I do have to remind myself that you weren't brought up in Wales in the 1930s.
But it was different.
Culture was available.
I suppose it's kind of. It don't sound like an old man, but I'm an old man, but I suppose we never understand it when people say they're bored or they've got nothing to do, because we were just absolutely digesting all this stuff, and it was just through the music, papers and records.
Sort of with you, there's always something to do, isn't there?
There was.
Being bored's the best feeling in the world, because there's always just time to think and process stuff,
Had you any idea when you'd finished the album? Obviously, you were on top of the Pops and Enemy and it didn't hit in the charts the way you wanted it to, but you had any idea that the songs that you wrote then, because it's weird actually, when I sat down I had to remind myself that so many hits were on the first album. It's unbelievable, really. I mean, it is, so, Motorcycle Emptiness, You Love Us, Love Sweet Exile, those are songs now that you get lynched if you wouldn't play that on the set list, right?
Exactly, we still keep them in the set. Slash and Burn, Little Baby Nothing. I remember because the album built definitely after the initial thing. I think Motorcycle Emptiness was maybe the 5th single or something, so we kind of always had that in the bag, so to speak. And then in between, Suicide Painless has gone top 10 as well, which wasn't on the album, but we did strap a free cassette on the album. Which is brilliant. Just a grey cassette was just whacked on and it went back in the charts.
That is great.
So I felt we'd grown. Then we played, the gigs were getting bigger. We played Reading Festival, which was amazing. People really liked us then, despite me abusing the audience for half hour.
You're such a nice guy.
I know.
I can't imagine what you were like then.
I was terrible. I was hideous.
Was he that bad, Shawnee?
Well, it's like, it was us and them. It's like Keith Richards. If you get on his stage, invade his space, then he's going to, sort you out.
There was no one invaded.
It's like everyone likes you. What's the problem?
No, but it's kind of... I suppose there was a sense of it, because we were the 3-piece at the start, so it was myself, Sean and Wire. Then when Richey joined, it was almost like, Richey and Wyatt just fed off each other, and it was almost like uncontrollable kind of rotor blades of helicopter crashing coming towards you. You just knew that there would be there would be no prisoners, and when you'd be playing a festival, you'd have to be doing this, run the gauntlet of other bands you'd slagged off. And just face it down. So it was kind of made it exciting, to be honest. It was cool.
I don't want to be mawkish or nostalgic, but would he enjoy this now? Would he enjoy the 20th anniversary of this? And
that's really hard to tell. I mean, obviously doing this makes you think about him even more, and he just had such a brilliant intellect. I think he would have just been pushing on.
Yeah.
constantly, whether it be writing books. He would have had one of the biggest Twitter accounts in the world. I mean, it was a totally pre-digital age. He never even had a mobile phone, Richey, you know. So I think he would have just been pushed. I think he would have been an amazing artist. I'd like to think he'd still be, you know, writing amazing lyrics for myself, but I think he would have grown and grown and grown.
And what about you, boys? You got a book in you? I can see you guys writing a book. But not even about music.
I've done a book too. When I started writing it, I just felt, God, it's just too painful.
It's kind of hard, the notion of doing a book when, you know, we were pretty kind of raw, kind of like, you know, valley boys out on the road experiencing things for the first time, and can't get my head around a book about us when I'm this old and with a kid and stuff.
But I sort of actually meant, I didn't really mean a retrospective, because you're not really retrospective people. Yeah, I meant more, you know, a novel or a.
I think we've had those thoughts, but the last sort of 5-6 years, ever since Send Away the Tigers, we just absolutely love being in a band so much. It's our greatest release, it's our greatest form of expression, it's our greatest way of still being friends. You know, we got our little studio in Cardiff, and it's just like a clubhouse, a giant shed for men to retire from the world and, you know, block out the world.
Fancy a piece of that.
Sky Sports package. Punch bag up. Nick has already written a novella. He gave it to me when I was 18 years old.
I did, yeah.
So kind of...
That was pretty...
That's in the Manics vaults.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, yes.
It's in the shoebox somewhere, is it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, you're going to do Motorcycle Emptiness?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, no, that was sort of a question. I know you are, but...
Yes.
Culture sucks downwards, atomize slowly, and feed yourself smiles. Organize yourself, tribal war, hurt and maim, kill and enslave the ghetto. Living out a life so cheaply, forever, ever. Antony on loneliness, motorcycle emptiness. Antony on loneliness, motorcycle emptiness. Life flies a slow suicide, orthodox streams and symbolic myths. From feudal serf to spender, this wonderful world attaches power. Just like lungs sucking on the air, survival's natural as sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. Antony on loneliness, motorcycle emptiness. Antony on loneliness,
Motorcycle Emptiness from Generation Terrorist, which is re-released, remastered, reissued, all of the above, I suppose.
Everything.
On the 5th of November, the Manic Street Preachers. Hey, listen, before you go, I need to ask you just a couple of questions. What are you reading at the moment? Anything fun? Are you tucking yourself up with a little Bernard Cornwell or something in the evening?
I'm reading a book called The Yellow Birds by Peter something.
You always give me good tips.
What's it about? It's an Iraq war book, and it's supposed to be the best kind of war book since All Quiet on the Western Front, basically.
Blimey.
That's the way the publishers are kind of like framing it anyway.
Nicky?
I've actually returned, because I did this thing with Faber, I got a load of free Faber books. So
I
just
returned
want
those back now.
to the complete works of Philip Larkin, because it just always makes me feel...
Now, what's Pip Larkin like to read? I've not really read any Pip. Is he good?
Philip Larkin is just beautiful. It's just melancholia distilled in its purest form.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Shawnee?
For me, I've just started a Game of Thrones trilogy. I'm a bit trashy like that.
Nice.
He's a drummer!
I'm a drummer, what do you expect?
Nothing wrong with that.
Bit of Warhammer, that's what we need.
Brilliant.
Are you still, Nicky, last time, I can't use my dishwasher without thinking of you, and I'm not saying this for effect or anything. Whenever I put my dishwasher on, and I make sure I stack it properly, because Dee's terrible at it, and I make sure that I get it properly, it's all in, and as soon as I turn it on, I always think to myself well, Nicky, why wouldn't we have it? I swear to God.
I'm not a fan of them. They're full of germs.
Do you have one yet or not?
Oh, well, yeah, but there's always a huge fight with me and the wife, because I just want to... But I basically take them all out and rewash them when she's done it anyway.
See, I don't get that, because surely the temperature of the water must be such that it will...
It's like a jacuzzi. It's like putting your pots and pans in a jacuzzi where all feet have been and stuff.
To think that you would give white goods so much thought.
Yeah. Who'd have thought that in 92?
Indeed.
Cheers, boys. Thanks, William.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.